Hi there, everyone. Meteorologist Robert Spena here with you on today, the 14th of October, 2013. Typhoon Wipha continues to track off here towards the northwest, well out over open ocean at this time, but that is soon going to be changing going through the next 24 to 48 hours. Actually, in the top left of your screen right here, that is Okinawa Honto. You have Daito Jima right there towards the northwest as well. Don't expect these areas to get hit by this storm system by any means, but you are going to be seeing some pretty large waves going through here on Monday evening into Tuesday morning as that storm does track off there towards your east. But just one impressive storm system at this point. I mean, it really is wrapping up rather nicely. We do have some drier info along the western periphery, and the bulk of the convection of this storm is on the northern half of it, and that's going to play a big role in how the storm system actually impacts Japan going through the next several days. We're going to talk about that in this update, but also just the general intensity of this storm. I mean, we really have a well-developed eye, not just shown here on the visible imagery, but microwave imagery confirms up that inner eye wall right there. And also we're seeing some wobbling with it as it intensifies and even goes through this eye wall replacement cycle. That is really kind of indicating a rapid intensification of a storm. We call them Teresian wobbles. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But anyhow, when we see rapid intensification, they often do these little wobbles back and forth as they track off in whichever direction they're going in. With this one, we are quite seeing that. Now, good news, as it does get farther here towards the north, we're expecting it to impact central Japan. It's going to get ramped up with this jet stream, and we have about 50 to 100 knot winds all the way through this area right here in the upper levels. As far as typhoons and tropical systems go, they do not like this. So right now it's going to track along the western periphery of this high pressure ridge right here and start to make that turn towards the northeast. And once it hits this, it's not going to be so much a full-fledged typhoon type system anymore. Still very potent as it starts to go extratropical, and that is the key thing out of this. We're still going to be seeing some fairly heavy rainfall across much of central Japan, and plus typhoon strength wind, but not to mention picking up the pace. So around Tokyo, even extending out there in their coastal areas, especially extending out in their coastal areas, talking about the people there watching from the Yokosuka region over towards Chiba, you are going to be seeing these typhoon strength winds very well likely. Now the good news is that going through the day here on Wednesday, they're not going to be lasting the entire day, a few short hours as the storm does erase overhead and a very severe threat of rainfall. But it is going to be the strongest storm you have seen yet here in 2013, and I think one of the strongest ones since I've been here in the past 5 years. So yeah, let's continue to watch this. It's going to move off there towards the northwest, staying east of Okinawa, and then moving off there towards the north around Tokyo. Once it does pass here, look at this, 1600 UTC. JMA still expects 75 gusting up to 105 knots type of storm system here. So that is not anything to take lightly. A very strong typhoon as it does race off here towards the northeast. Now, what I meant by it not being a traditional typhoon in the sense by the time it gets off here towards the north is that what you are going to be seeing is right here we have that center of circulation, but the bulk of that rainfall is going to be on the northern periphery. All that wind shear is going to shoot it off towards the north. So we're looking at a decent flood risk actually extending from the Kii Peninsula all the way off there towards central portions of Japan, even into the Hoku area. We're going to be seeing some pretty heavy rainfall out of this as it does fly by there. Taking a look at the GFS model, but this is the rainfall output. This is going to be the wind output for the same time period as it moves overhead. Looking at those winds upwards about 60 to 70 knots right near coastal areas. You see MWF, very similar output putting on here. So models are in agreement. Basically, agencies are in agreement. JDWC, for some reasons, keeping it just offshore towards the east, but I do expect them to waver it back there towards the west. Most models, even including the U.S. military model, the NavGem, also takes it overland. Just clipping Chiba prefecture and then moving off there towards the northeast with that bulk of the precipitation on the northern periphery as it gets wrapped up with those mid-latitude winds and that front that's pushing through there from the west. So that is going to be the major threat with this. We're going to be seeing that short time heavy rain going through the day here, basically starting by early Wednesday morning. Coastal areas are going to start to see these typhoon strength winds first, the Kii Peninsula, even around Shikoku, then extending off there towards the north into Nagoya. And I think this is going into about Wednesday right around noontime. This would be 06, so actually into the early afternoon hours. Coastal areas including The Yokosuka area, even extending over towards Tokyo, tropical storm strength winds, but right near the bay, we could be seeing typhoon strength winds. So, not a storm to take lightly by any means. I mean, the visible imagery just kind of shows that. It's going to be a fairly strong and potent storm system, and if anybody's out and about venturing near coastal areas, it very well is going to be very, very dangerous. Out across much of this area. So we're going to continue to watch it through the next several days. I'll be on air at NHK World later on tonight with some updates on the storm system. Also plan on making another update right around midnight here on Monday going into Tuesday. But please do check our Facebook and Twitter. We're going to continue to post updates on these storm systems. Another thing, though, as Weipa races by here towards the east of Japan, Vice coming up towards the west where Danas came, and that dragged in a lot of warm air. What it's going to be doing, it's going to be pulling in cold air out of Siberia. So after the storm system passes, I know the typhoon is obviously the main topic, but as the storm system passes on Wednesday, Tokyo and much of northern Japan are going to be seeing the coldest temperatures yet here in 2000, or excuse me, yet here since spring of 2013. I know it's kind of contradictory of what you would expect with a typhoon, but it actually is going to be dragging in a ton of cold air from the north, so it's going to get chilly out there. So we're going to have heavy rainfall, pretty gusty winds, but don't expect just because it's a tropical system that it will be warm. I would keep my jacket and umbrella ready here if you are in Tokyo on Wednesday and a Thursday. Stay safe out there, everybody, and thanks for watching.